Okay, so we're back. So I thought about, in retrospect, the first segment. Um, this chord, this chart has the builds, the two builds here for reference, and then we have the three circles: the cage circle, the modal cage circle, and the double cage circle. Okay, and then so that's where we're going to be looking at in the modal cage circle. Now, so notice I just I know the system works, but we want to use the right chart. So here's where you skip to in KG'd here. The word KG'd should be written up here. So it's really C C A G E E D right there, and then C C A G E E D right there, and then C C A G E E D right there. So you go around three times. You go around once, and you have three instances of the KG. So that's like almost three scales. It's like three scales right there. But when we're going from one string to the next, and remember, everyone who knows about guitar knows that what you can do from one string to the next string up, you can do from one string over here on the same string. So you could just continue the count. So if we had C3 here, the C string shape's just 3, 4, 5 because it's the bottom string in the old cage system. It's the bottom string chord diatonic scale fragment. Okay, so there's our C3. The next string up is going to be the G string, 6, 7 root. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root, but 6, 7 root is right here. Okay, so you can use this system to go to the right, to the left, up, or down. In the old cage system, it's nice. There's our C3, 3, 4, 5. Next string would be G, 6, 7 root. Okay, the fifth of C is G. So there's no note sharing there, but there's still an A position in between there, and you spell the word cage, C-A-G-E-D, C-A-G-E-D. So we go two scales to get around one turn of the cage circle. We go three scales, C3, 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 to get around one scale, one turn of the KG system. Okay, this is modal cage, but it's the C-C-A-G-E-E-D. It's all 7 modes. It's just that the C string shape from over here has not only the 3, 4, 5 right here, but it has the 4, 5, 6, and we'll get to that diagram. We also have the double cage circle here. This is where we're taking the old cage system and just doing double cages, so we can start on one and play up to the other. Okay, and that's using the long patterns, so they are going to go to the right and they go to the next cage up. With the help of the tuning third, it warps us up even one extra fret. So we're going to go over 2 frets. It takes us into the next cage every time. So we're going around, we start at E7. Okay, so it's like a caged advance here. E7 to D2, but then the fourth of E is A. So these are in fourths right here. And then the fourth of A is D, the fourth of D is G, the fourth of G is C. And in the cage system, as with the double cage system, the fourth of the C shape is the E shape. Here's the C shape. Here's a regular E. And here's the E-shaped F. So the fourth of the C-shaped C is the E-shaped F. So right there, the fourth of the C is the E-shaped, and vice versa. Conversely, the fifth of the E shape is the C shape. So we only go around, how many scales do we do around here? I don't know. Looks like we just find this easily here. possibly 2, possibly 3. So we've got that, so you can see how important it is to see that this is how it goes. Now, that's fine and dandy, but how does it really, what does it mean when you get to the fretboard? Let's look at the top fretboard, okay? So this is our double cage playaway fretboard, okay? Now, the reason why I put it in fourths, and if I could have the circle right here, it would be nice. Okay, so let's just take a breather. So I've done them here in fourths. The fourth of E is A. These are the double cage playaways, and here's the circle that goes along with it. Okay, had a short break there. So we're set up to look at the first couple of cages. It's necessary to look at individual cages, but it's also necessary to cover all of them. So where it's very advantageous to zoom on in, we still have to cover all of them. I do that all the time. I only get halfway through them and then I never get to the others. So let's look. I've got the circle and the buffer for the KG string circle. We do this by the numbers. Is a better way than trying to look at, okay, the fifth of C is G, the fifth of G is D, the fifth of D is A, right? The fifth of A. What does that do for us? What it means is if we're playing in this cage, what's the next cage over? It's the fifth of it, so it would be the A cage. But it's better to just do it by the numbers. We'll see what that means. It means if we're counting root 2, 3 over here, okay, or root 2, 3, 4, then we would go to 5, 6, 7. Root would obviously be the A cage. The problem is when we play the long pattern down here, we're not going to hit that 4 because we're not, this is the happens to be right here, and these are the modal cages. So let's keep it simple. Why did I make this chart, and what am I trying to accomplish? And that is for pentatonic purposes. So I've blackened the 4th and the 7, okay, and we want to know how to play the modes. So that's the 1, the 4, and the 5, and the 2, the 3, and the 6. The 7, we'll talk about that, okay? I find that the biggest challenge with the Locrian 7th is how are you going to describe it if you want to talk about it as a familiar chord. It's a chord in itself is what it is. So if you get familiar with the half diminished chord, that's fine, but there are ways to play it that it's, that it's part of a dominant chord, okay? So 7, 2, 4 is part of a dominant chord 5, 7, 2. It's also part of the second minor 2, 4, 6. If you just raise that 6 to a 7, you've got your half diminished. So there are ways to do that. We don't want to let that tangle us up today. So the playaways basically go from one cage shape to the other. Starting on root 2, 3, remember this is my C down here. So it's crazy, it's like C, F, then it's B flat, E flat, G, C. Okay? Because I'm down 2 whole steps here. So yours would be E, A, D, G, B, E. That's where your fret nut is. So let's just look at root 2, 3. Now this is the important thing. What I want to do is show you that in charting we can roll out something